Begin, though, today in Ukraine and what could be new signs of a step back from conflict with Russia.
This morning, Russia's defense ministry announced some troops and military units are leaving Crimea after finishing what it called tactical exercises. This comes just one day after Russia said it was pulling back some of its forces from the Ukrainian border. Speaking yesterday, President Biden expressed skepticism over that move and warned an invasion was still a major risk.
We have not yet verified the Russian military units are returning to their home bases. Indeed, our analysts indicate that they remain very much in a threatening position. And the fact remains, right now, Russia has more than 150,000 troops encircling Ukraine and Belarus and along Ukraine's border. An invasion remains distinctly possible. If Russia does invade in the days and weeks ahead, the human cost for Ukraine will be immense. And the strategic cost for Russia will also be immense.
NBC News correspondent Erin McLaughlin is in Kyiv for us, and we're also joined by NBC News senior digital White House reporter Shannon Pettypiece. So, Erin, let's start with you. For a second straight day, Russia is saying that it is pulling some of its forces back to their home bases. What's the reaction there, and are there hopes this could be the start of a broader pullback of troops from the border?
Hey, Joe, we just heard from the NATO Secretary General saying that NATO is seeing no signs of a de-escalation on the part of Russia. Said quite the contrary. If anything, they're seeing the military buildup by Russia on three sides of the Ukrainian border continue. Also noting that Russia has yet to engage in the proposal that NATO put on the table to address some of Russia's security concerns, and the Secretary General pushing Russia to engage in that diplomatic process. When Russia made this announcement that it was withdrawing some of its troops yesterday, that was met with skepticism here in Kyiv, with the Ukrainian foreign minister saying, we'll believe it when we see it. We heard from the Ukrainian defense minister this morning saying that the assessment of the Ukrainian military has not changed. It should be noted that Ukraine has long downplayed the threat of a military escalation by the part of Russia. Joe.
So, Shannon, as we heard yesterday from President Biden, Washington, like NATO, remains skeptical of these moves by Russia. Tell us more about why that is.
Well, I mean, we have not gotten a response from the White House on these developments overnight. But as you noted, as of yesterday afternoon, the president was saying that, one, the U.S. had not independently verified or been able to analyze these claims by the Russian Defense Ministry. They are not convinced that these troops are returning to their home base versus being repositioned, for example, somewhere else along the border. And the president reiterated that despite some changes that might be occurring on a small scale, broadly, Russia remains in what he described there, you heard a moment ago, as a very defensive posture. The U.S. has been quite skeptical all along and has said publicly that they are eyes wide open on the fact that Russia may carry out some deceptive military tactics along the way. They certainly saw that in 2014 during the annexation of Crimea, where unmarked Russian troops were being sent in to fight, who were essentially Russian soldiers but weren't wearing the Russian insignia. Those are the type of tactics the U.S. has seen from Russia before. So there is definitely a skepticism that they will believe it when they see it, and they are not going to be sort of distracted by any sort of actions Russia might take to sort of throw them off where the Russians may be going in a bigger sense.
So, Erin, today Ukrainians are celebrating what's been dubbed as Unity Day, which President Zelenskyy declared just a few days ago. He addressed his nation again this morning. What's his message? Is there a feeling of unity in Ukraine?
Well, this morning at the National Stadium here in Kyiv, they unraveled a 200-meter-long Ukrainian flag. You're seeing Ukrainian flags throughout the country, people posting pictures of themselves wearing yellow and blue ribbons. And in a show of patriotism this morning, President Zelenskyy addressing the nation saying, "But we are united by a single desire, the desire to live in peace, happily with one family, with children, with parents, and we have every right to all of of this because we are at home. We are in Ukraine, and no one will love our home the way we love, and no one but us together can protect our home. And to that effect, there is a new poll that was just released saying that 57.5% of Ukrainians are ready to resist in one way or another in the event of some sort of Russian attack. That is up from 50% when this particular poll was last taken in December, with only 17.9% saying they would do absolutely nothing in the event of a Russian attack. Speaking to Ukrainian military experts, they point to polls like this as evidence that this country is united against a potential Russian aggression and see that as a key deterrent potential factor in the Kremlin's calculus whether or not to invade.
Erin and Shannon, thank you both. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.